All right, man. I am particularly excited for this week for Lowy the Legend casting because I like the map pool. Golden Pit is back. It's been a while since we had Golden Pit, and yes, I did just have somebody say I hate Golden Pit. I think it's a really fun match or map for low elo players because the objective, blah blah blah. Let me try this again. The objective is clear. Okay, the objective is to secure the gold and the stone. Now, that's a pretty simple thing. You know, there's all this wide open spaces, make some army, maybe make towers, whatever to control it. But it's also not so simple. I just had someone here say, I hate this map because I always get raided to death in my base when I have the middle. That's kind of what I like about these maps is that it makes you focus on the middle. And then there's some strategic things you can do to break that anyways. In the blue, we have Mantis playing as the Japanese. Japanese here, flexible civ, cheap lumber camps, mills, mining camps, great infantry, usually seeing infantry archer from them. And then here in the red, with a very interesting build order, by the way, we've got two houses. We have an early mill on the berries. Almost looks like red placed the mill to maybe be part of a wall later. Interesting. But in the red, we have a player that I think I recognize. CBGB. Now, I don't know what that stands for. Celts. What's a word that starts with B that means very good? Celts beautiful. Goths broken. I don't know. I'm just being stupid. But anyway, CGBG's playing as the Celts over here. And this is actually a really fun Civ matchup. So the thing about Celts is you're normally talking about early game infantry into archers and then a hard tech switch into infantry. And if you make that hard tech switch into infantry, it's normally the Woad Raider. If you're up against good horse civilization, you might see Halberdier. Kelda infantry being fast is obviously great. The Woad Raider is also really cool as well. The thing is, you have to be more hesitant about doing that in this matchup. And a lot of people don't know this. But the Samurai, who am I kidding? You guys probably know this as we have the auto scouts. Hold on a second, man. They're both auto scouting the same area. But yeah, Japanese Samurai or even Japanese champions could do very well if this switches into infantry later on. So I actually prefer the Japanese in this matchup. Now, this is not to say that Celts are not solid overall here. I don't think it's like a Civ win or anything. I think the fact that Celts have that lumber chopping bonus in the early stages is huge. Red taking advantage of that, chopping the stragglers. But, yeah, maybe if this game is even as we head towards Imp, as both players still auto-scouting the same corner. Auto-scouts are like, I don't know, a bunch of dogs that just always head over to the same spot. They just want to check out what the other dog was doing in that next to that tree. That's what the auto-scouts are doing over here on the right. But long story short, I do think Japanese in like maybe late Castle Age, early Imp start to feel like a better Civ here. Now, we could see the Celt Siege play a role even in the late game, right? We could technically see Siege Ram and Heavy Scorpions, but we are also at 600 some Elo. In fact, I didn't put Elo here. I'm sure you guys know what that means, but we'll just put it up anyways. And where I'm at right now, I'm just excited to see how these guys play it out and see what their strategies are. And guys, red is already in the middle. Now, let's talk the downsides to this. First off, you have the walking time. I don't think the walking time is that big of a deal. I've seen examples where people walk across the whole map. This is nothing. Auto scouts still just passing through each other. The other aspect is you have 6 tiles of gold at your base. So this is maybe in Red's mind saving some gold. Like, I guess the thought process is, sure, it's a bit risky to be out here. But then if you have to fall back to this gold, you've got it. Now, I actually have seen some pro games where on Golden Pit, they will actually just place their starting gold villagers right before they go feudal here. Because again, it's not that far, but, you traditionally are going to go with the closer gold. Red hates straggler trees. Red said, hey, these straggler trees are either free wood, and I like free, or these straggler trees just look bad to me, so I'm going to walk around and chop them. It does kind of ruin the flow of the Celt wood bonus. And blue over here has not even found a boar, guys. Now, this could have something to do with auto scout. It could have something to do with not actually checking to see what resources you have, or it also could have something to do with the fact that blue doesn't care about boars. I was going to say doesn't care about meat, but is now eating deer, so who knows? If you clicked Auto Scout every time when these players did it, what was it, 3 minutes, 2 minutes? I'd say about 75% of the time you're going to see at least one boar. Right? Actually, maybe that's even a bit. Maybe it's like 90% of the time you're going to see one boar. And then, you know, there's very little chances, I'd say, that you actually would miss out on 2. So, you know, maybe Mantis has played, what, 100 games? And this is only the first time that Mantis has encountered a situation, which I guess would be 1% chance, where the boars haven't been scouted. Now, does Blue pull the scout back and say, oh, yeah, those are important. I need that? Nope. It's focused on farms here and taking the deer. And honestly, the farming eco is going to be pretty good. And Mantis has done an incredible job with keeping the TC running this game. By the way, speaking of boars, Red hasn't taken any either. And Red did actually barely scout this boar. I didn't realize it was the same situation for both. And yeah, Red is going to take some stone and gold in the middle. Red clicks up to feudal age first. But so far, the execution economically, you know, if we forget the whole boar thing, it's really good for, I'd say, both players, but particularly Mantis. 15 seconds of TC idle time is no joke. But is Mantis a SimCity player, or is Mantis actually going to fight here? Because we have the second row of 4 houses here for Mantis. No walling for Mantis. Mantis might not even realize that this golden stone's important in the middle right now. I don't know. Auto Scout really sucks. I once did that horse on steps since you can't hotkey select it through control groups. Was disappointed after 2 minutes. Well, it always goes to the right corner. Also, Blue just deleted those houses. Blue just deleted the houses. I was wondering, because I saw 2 houses, and I was wondering if, because there was 4 and 4 here, if Blue would make 2 more next to it. Nope, they just don't look good anymore. Get rid of those houses. It does make sense to upgrade, guys, right? Like, you know, this is what you had when you're like, you know, early 20s, and then when you get a bit older and you get settled down, you know, you want to move up in the world, your 30s and 40s. So just got to get rid of these houses. I like how the one deer's there, like, oh god, I can't believe. You know, on one hand, it's really happy it has its life, but on the other hand, it like, are those the antlers for the buck that went down? Jeez, man. I never looked at that. Anyways, that poor deer is like, on one hand, I'm happy to be alive, but on the other hand, is life even worth living without my friends? Oh, wow. Mantis is like, I need this market now. And Mantis Garrisons. Now, this is Auto Scout, but okay. I think it's still Auto Scout. But yeah, this is Fast Castle. Guys, Mantis is going Fast Castle, and this is a very well executed Fast Castle. This is without 2 boars. Resources are there, buildings are there, has to go up to Castle Age. This is not bad. What's the plan, though, for Blue? Blue now says, okay, I'm going to actually want to take some stone. I mean, Red, meanwhile, is towered here. And Red is a barracks, but Red isn't actually making anything right now. So Red's a bit more all over the place. Clearly focusing on the middle. And oh, not another tower, man. Not another tower. Well, 2 towers is better than 1 tower, T90. What are you talking about? All right, so here's the deal with the whole towers, right? So I have seen enough games on these types of maps where players love their towers in the middle. And I get it. The towers give you vision. The towers shoot arrows. And life is scary out there. So if it gives you a little bit of security, go for it. I will say, though, that this is a very wide space, right? And 2 towers does not secure much if you place them right next to each other. So if you're going to place more towers, I would say maybe place them next to each other. And look at Red. Red actually is, notice Blue is out here. And Red is going to tower here. And now this gets interesting because I was thinking Blue wouldn't be spotted, but the Auto Scout actually did his job, actually looped over. It is unfortunate, though, that Red doesn't realize this will not range. So, but guys, Red says, I need to make stuff, man. And we have men-at-arms, and now we have 2 militia. 1890, please apply big trees. All right, I will do it for you. You're a sub and you're a supporter, and I love you. Boom. There you go. You got some big trees. Now, we don't need that in the middle. But you've got the big trees here, because we know these guys probably have big trees. Red's probably like, oh, crap. It's kind of funny. I guess from Red's perspective, blue might have left. Okay, now places another tower. Now, blue has gone fast castle into one on wood and the rest on other resources here, right? So blue's going to want to build a castle. Now, let's see what blue does when the attack starts. Red has had to do a lot right now, and Red has had a lot of villager idle time. Also has added the man-at-arms defensively, so clearly doesn't want to use them offensive. Blue still 15 seconds of TC idle time, but now the tower's up, and I don't know if Red knows about garrisoning. Okay. Blue sees this. Now, blue says, yeah, this is my point, right? Blue says, oh, I'm just going to go over here. And watch Red. This is this is funny. Red's like, no. No. I will not let you do that. Very sneaky there, sir, but I still can make more towers, and I don't want you in here. Now, is Red going to send the man-at-arms to go kill the villagers? Nah, that's not important. We're just going to make towers, I guess. The thing is, the mining camps are really cheap for Japanese, which is not bad. So, blue is actually going to have enough stone to drop a castle without even buying any stone at the market. Man-at-arms are on the way, though. Okay, now this is up. There's a worry here for blue. If blue doesn't realize that you need to run home and make this castle, blue could just lose the game. Blue might as well resign here. Because no reaction. Maybe waiting for the stone to get the castle. Also, my phone's ringing. Who is this? It says unknown. Yeah, I don't pick up the phone for unknown people, man. And blue doesn't want to save these villagers. These villagers are unknown to him. And hey, there we go, 653 stones. So that happens. Obviously, a lot of villagers have had to die to make this happen. Blue, I mean, I will hand it to blue. Blue continues to create villagers. But now, you must be pretty overwhelmed. Red is still making man-at-arms and even getting more upgrades right now. I really want blue to make samurai. I want blue to drop a castle at home and make samurai to control the map. It would be huge here. Okay, blue's at least sending more vills. And red is probably focused. Red is probably doing something at home. You would hope anyways. Yeah, there you go. Adding some farms. So I get it. I mean, as far as red's concerned, the middle is controlled. And army is there. And now red gets over to moving the army. So now red's going to see this. But good job from blue. Blue might lose one more villager. We'll see if blue actually micros them back to the TC. I kind of doubt it. But at the end of the day, because Mantis has done a good job creating villagers all the time, and because of the castle going up, I think Mantis is actually going to be in a really nice spot. Now, what Mantis does with this position is the most important part of the game, okay? This has been a great game. I'm really pleased with this. Because Samurai are a very good unique unit. They're very good against other forms of infantry. And there's also not that expensive. So you have a castle now. That would be something you would want to make. Still, only 15 seconds of TC idle time. I don't know if I've ever seen a player be clearly, you know, low elo, 600 elo, but still doing that. Like, that takes a lot of skill there. But, you know, there's other aspects that have struggled, certainly. So, you know, it all evens out, I guess. Obviously, the goal for red is to hold the middle for as long as possible. Red now thinking about Castle Age. Red's taking out blue's houses. And blue's like, nope! I like how earlier in the game, blue made the pretty houses. Blue even deleted houses, so some of them would look prettier, right? And now, it's in the midst of battle. And blue just can't really focus on the houses being pretty anymore. And just plops them down. And at least recognize, hey, my houses are going down. I need more. That's smart thinking. Relocates a lumber camp just in case red comes over. And still not wanting to make samurai. No, we got samurai. I like it. Meanwhile, red's on the way up. Red will have enough stone to drop a castle somewhere in Castle Age. And we have ourselves a close game. But I would still say, I mean, it's super close. But if I were to pick a position right now, I would pick blues. Because blue's economy is very good. Blue's already on samurai, which I think is one of the go-to units in this matchup. And I don't know if red is going to understand just how bad samurai are for him here. Obviously, red will probably lose these man-at-arms without realizing. The samurai shred. And red's Red might not even know what was made there, so we'll be on the lookout, I guess. Have you ever done Team Lel? Yeah, man, it's on YouTube. Multiple. It's on YouTube. Don't do 3v3s and 4v4s. 3v3s and 4v4s are too much. I'll occasionally do 2v2s. We've done a few, but not something that I do all the time. I think 1v1s are better. I think it's better focus. Obviously, it means more pressure. So some people don't like to play these 1v1s. Ooh, this is interesting. Blue is actually running away. Blue could win this. Yeah, 1v1s have better storylines. I think overall they have better strategy, but of course they lack some things that team games can have. Hey, 40 seconds of TC idle time for Blue now. So Blue has shown that these human lost 6 villagers, but, you know, has continued to create vills, so actually in a really good spot there. Okay, so I guess Blue is only... I guess Blue is still auto-scouting, actually. And Red Scout is just chasing, so eventually Blue Scout will go down. The Red immediately drops a castle in the middle. Now, it would make sense for Red in this type of a position to make Wold Raiders. Let's see what Blue does here. Okay, so Blue doesn't see the castle. And Blue's going to attack the tower, which is a smart move. Does have Castle Age armor. Now it's going to have the attack. Now sees the castle's going up. And now should be like, oh, maybe I should leave. Nope. Desperate to stop the castle. Realizes how important that is. Red can garrison. Red didn't do that earlier, so I wasn't sure. And now Man-at-Arms show up. Now you've got the tower fire and the castle fire. And this is a problem for the Mantis. What a game. What a cool game we have here, guys. Okay, so as we see Stronghold come in, these guys know their stuff. Red knows about how useful Stronghold is here. That means castles and towers fire faster. Hugely relevant to what we have. And then Blue has all the proper blacksmith upgrades for infantry and has been making samurai. Now, does Blue recognize the opportunity to maybe raid Red's economy? This is my tip for you guys. And I'm about to make a bunch of people out there who love to control the middle on Golden Pit. I'm about to make your life difficult, okay? But, you know, if everyone hears it, you should be able to prep and deal with it. Murder holes! Raid their base. Raid their base. They are usually sending everything they have to the middle. Go to their economy, and they are exposed. See if maybe Imperial Age comes in for Blue. Blue making more samurai now. Red getting the stone mining upgrade. I would also love to see a lumber mining camp here, Red, instead of the walking, but that's fine. Yeah, samurais would destroy. Samurais would destroy. Samurais have a bonus against other unique units. And also, the infantry for Japanese attack faster every age. So, I think... You know what I haven't seen in a very long time, actually, is Samurai versus Teutonic Knight. Because the Teutonic Knight have tons of armor there, so I think Teutonic Knight will probably do better. I think Samurai even do pretty good against Jaguar Warriors, which have all that attack. I don't know. Anyways. Those are not units you see facing off a lot. We see Long Swordsman here for Red. But yeah, in this case, Wold Raider versus Samurai. Samurai would destroy. I know that for sure. Now, I don't know. Like, getting Stronghold is fairly expensive. Someone will have to tell me the cost, but it is relevant, but it's also expensive. And when you have this already fortified, you have to ask if it's worth it to spend your resources on that. But Red is now producing villagers out of 2 TCs. One's in the middle to get more stone and gold. And then the other one is here. And also, look at this. This monk just, see ya, just running away. This is going to be relic number 2 for Blue. Who might even be working on relic number 3 here. And look, Blue saw the scout. And is even sending the samurai down there. And it's going to go in after the scout. What if they're walled? Well, if they're walled, they still have to have military to hit you, right? So if they have house walls and you attack their houses, what are they going to do? They're going to take their folks away from the middle. They're going to panic. They're going to have to make more walls. So unless they're like stone-walled, I would say that you could still kind of play that game of attacking them on the sides and then trying to switch to the middle. But ultimately, it does become a race towards Imp to see who can get military in a big mass with their trebs, with their rams, and push the middle. But you have enough gold to work with to be able to push back the middle. Right now, 3 tiles are gone. There's still 3 more tiles here for Mantis, and Mantis is about to be in the Imperial Age. Now, this is what I meant, man. This is what I meant. Now, of course, you know, red could have walled. Red, no! The samurai might be the same size as a villager, but you don't want to fight this. No! No, 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 no. And finally they realize, they're like, oh, yeah, that's actually not good for us. Red could have raided blue, by the way, as well. Like, red took the middle and just said, I'm just going to sit here now. Thank you. Knights are ultimately going to clear this up, but that's a good little raid there. And red actually has lost more villagers than blue now because of that. And red producing knights still. And it's going to produce some longswords as well. Blue getting elite samurai. I honestly would love to just see blue say, I do not need siege here. I am just going to go full samurai because samurai are awesome. Now, I would say avoid the tower castle fire. That's probably smart. But if you just keep running over to red's base, that's not going to have anything against elite samurai. It's not even close. So a lot of people, they invest so much in the middle, and then they just get hit at home. Okay, there goes the monk. Just going to yoink that relic. It's going to be relic number 3. We have imp armor on the way. Red doesn't know what to do. Red's like expecting to get hit in the middle. Guys, red's like, oh, I've got the middle fortified. What's he going to do? This is kind of funny, though, because the samurai are chasing the knights. Knights could make it into blue's base. But blue sees this. Honestly, okay, so here's my take on Mantis. And I mean this to be respectful, okay? Mantis seems very slow, right? But very intelligent and understands the game a lot more. I think Mantis is slower than red. But Mantis has a real solid idea on upgrades and how to play the game. Red's going to kill that monk there. Samurai clear that up. Like blue realizing he's vulnerable on the side. Now going to immediately send some samurai there. Go to eco upgrades. Can we see APM? Sure, I will check that in a bit. I want to see what happens here with these knights, because these knights could kill a lot of villagers back here. And I'm curious to see blue's reaction now, because I just complimented blue, and normally if I compliment somebody, they immediately screw up. So, okay, complimented blue. Oh, gosh. Oh, man, okay. Well, red is going to clear this, and honestly, props to red as well for dealing with this. Blue just attacked the lumber camp because blue was stressed. And not the ideal spot to build a castle, I'll tell you that much. This is what we call a panic castle. Now, it will go up. But, man, look at the KD. It's 2 relics, 22 kills, 22 deaths, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Are there any other 2s on screen? Not really. 2 castles. 2 boars for both of them that they didn't eat. Yeah, just lots of 2s. Like the theme. We now have guard tower for red, who says, well, I already got stronghold, which means they fire faster, so let's get more towers. 52 villagers versus 53. 4 army versus 13. And now, if red's going to be an imp, this does become a different situation. Honestly, both guys now that red's getting all these techs, it's swinging me back to both guys really have a solid grasp on strategy here, and like knowing what type of units they could maybe make, what techs to get. Oh, that's true. It's also Tuesday, and we've got 2 players. It's a lot of stone for these players. I feel like this is definitely a position, though, if you're blue. You do start to shift your focus a little bit more towards the middle. Producing out of both castles, which I like. Maybe just go towards that crucial samurai mass and mix in some trebs and start to push it. Now, I love, in this position, you already have the middle secured. I would love a castle here if you're red. Castle or stone walls at home. That way these raids don't work anymore and you can focus on the middle. As for what you make, you are kind of SOL, as they say. I don't know what you make here. I mean, you could try and go Cavalier and Paladin, I guess, with Celts, but it just never is going to feel good against Japanese. Which is why I believe I said, are we going to see a castle drop here? You sneaky, sneaky guy. He knows that he doesn't have gold. He's going to drop a castle there. Blue's never going to let that happen. No, villagers and samurai, just, again, not a good mix here, blue. The samurai might look a little small, but they're pretty solid. I think on paper what you should be making, and you have to delete this red, otherwise you lose 650 stone. Red, delete it. Red, delete it. Okay, who needs stone? I think on paper what you'd have to make, because he probably doesn't know Samurai Wreck World Raiders as bad as they do, it'd probably be Scorpions. But that's so awkward and so clunky. Like, a lot of siege would be good. He is baiting the opponent into the towers and castles, though. That's really good unit control. And what you could do with the Woads is literally what they're called, Woad Raid. It's not bad. We have siege engineers right now for blue. Again, that's like, that technology is something you do not see a lot of players get. Arrow slits. Dang, man. He benefits the towers. Okay, now blue is going to trickle trap. Blue is going to trickle trap. Doesn't have that many samurai and is going for the tower first. But let's see. Because I think the samurai are going to kill everything. I think red will react, click in towards the trap, and just get melted on the way in there. By the way, they're not elite woads, so it's maybe not a fair comparison, but again, it's just not even close. I think 40 elite samurai beat 60 elite woads. I honestly think it's that bad. Okay, cavalier now for red, who's clearly thinking, what can I make? What can I do? Blue has actually used the trebs against red's treb. Red's treb still firing, and now firing on the samurai. You can tell red is distracted and really put under pressure because of this, right? Which is why I always like showing up with 4 trebs and then focusing everything else onto your military production. I hope red gets at least 1. It feels like he deserves it. He does get it. And also has the faster firing Celt treb here, hoping to hit something. Blue very tunnel visioned right now. Definitely has the winning position. Has the hill. Is running low on gold, though. Oh, would have loved to have seen red maybe just tempt blue back into the castle fire. Just keeps losing some units here, hoping this treb's going to do it. Is repairing this castle, which I like to see. Okay, now some of the samurai are going to get weakened. Cavaliers in. We haven't seen these units down here get any action in a while. I think it's probably just because red's distracted. And more trebs now on the way for blue. And more samurai. The other thing is, too, samurai produce so quickly. And red loses the treb. Is losing all control in this game. I said earlier, I don't necessarily think it's a civ win. Honestly. At this point, I'm just like, I don't know what you do. Honestly, at this point, I feel really bad for red. I mean, it's not like he wasn't producing. Now, granted, he is behind on blacksmith upgrades. So, let's say the roles are reversed. Maybe the Celt player would be pushing the Japanese player. A great game, though. Those samurais killed so many villagers there. And remember, red was the player who focused on the middle earlier, but there were some problems for red because of the raids from blue. Blue's had a pretty good economic structure and is desperate for gold right now and continues to spam those samurai with the trebuchets and continues to push in. I do not see red realizing this army is here, and even if red does, I don't see how that's going to be enough here. Mass crossbows destroy samurai? No, because you don't get... Celts have really bad ranged upgrades, so you would have to go for something like Scorpion, I think. No gunpowder either. You could outmass with something like Champions or World Raiders. Didn't even fully commit to getting Elite World Raider there. And red, you can tell the panic is set in. Click the villagers forward with the World Raiders that won't do enough here. And Mantis, who only collected that little bit of stone earlier. I don't know, 500 stone in the middle? That was it. Mantis is now back in the middle, full control over this game, and red's desperate and slowly losing ground here. Even a samurai here, something red doesn't see. See, all you need to do in this type of position now, if you're blue, is pull a bunch of villagers to the middle, drop a castle, start taking the gold. But the timing is perfect on this, right? 600 gold remaining, and that's it. If there was a bit more resistance there from red, you never know. Red trying desperately to take out the trebs. This is why I say show up with 3 or 4 trebs, not 1 or 2. You'll destroy their buildings faster than they can manage to deal with. They will be desperate. They will send units in towards your trebuchets usually. Scout, monk here for red. Must be looking for that relic that was out there earlier. Again, I guess that has helped blue here. Having 4 relics has brought in thousands of gold, I'm sure. I'm trying to think, though. Even getting armor, right? You don't get the imp armor, and you do not get bloodlines. So your cavalier of 120 HP. Does it feel that good against samurai? I think so. And they're not cheaper or anything either. It's not like there's a cost difference there. These guys have heard about it. They're still not interested. They're like, listen, we're going to die out there. We're just going to sit here with the lumberjacks and protect them. Krebs continue to push forward, man. But yeah, overall, I mean, obviously we're heading towards the conclusion of this game. You can see in the KD just how bad this has been for Red. A really fun game. I think this shows that, well, I mean, the main thing, keeping your TC working in the early stages means that you can survive even after you lose 5 or 6 villagers, which is what happened to Blue. But I also think it shows how you don't need to overextend yourself into the middle, because it can lead to some problems. Sometimes working up defensively and then pushing forward after you get a big eco mass or a good build is the way to go. Now, I think Red is going to try a raid here. I think he's going to run into Blue's base, something that maybe needed to happen a little earlier, because this is unstoppable. And I like how Blue's protecting the Trebs, but is honestly a situation where the Trebuchets aren't even needed at this point. I think the Samurai could be melting buildings on their own. Yeah, the TC idle time's higher, so at this point he's not really producing vills as much. He's just kind of focused on the fights and the production, which makes sense. TC idle time at this stage is always a deceiving stat anyways. You guys didn't hear a noise there, right? Sorry, my other PC just gave me an alert. Hopefully you guys didn't hear anything. Yeah, Red. I think Red is thinking this is my last chance. I have to do something about this. I've worked so hard for this. This is my gold. I deserve this. And Red also realized that blacksmith upgrades were missing, so Red's hoping that maybe that'll make the difference here. More villagers coming to gold. Blue's probably wondering what Red is up to right now, but also probably enjoying himself as well. Like, man, this is relaxing. When you get this big of a lead, it's the stress of it's gone, you know? It's like you're beating up on the AI at this point. Yep, here come the Samurai. Red's villagers running around, not too pleased about the situation. Here come the Cav. Blue says, not today, my friend. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Red will go in for the Trebs. But you can only snipe the Trebs then. And then you need an answer to the Samurai. And I don't know if Arson was researched. That's the one upgrade I didn't really check to see if Red got. But, or Blue got, sorry. But I'm pretty sure Mantis recognized the situation here. Who even cares? So he just boldly runs forward, goes for the town center. Red desperately clicking the Trebs. Will get all the Trebs, but trades away all the army in the process. I think maybe, I mean, it's 66 Samurai, but I think maybe, as Red still doesn't know what to do, is going for two-handed swordsman and whatnot. Red would have had to win with numbers, and I think I would have liked to have seen... Honestly, would have liked to have seen a little, like, take his foot off the gas a little bit with the towers and the castles. And then maybe he could have had a few castles earlier in the game and could have been spamming woads. But I think Blue was able to weather the early storm. It was really interesting how Blue just went fast castle. Just said, screw all your feudal age attacks, screw the middle. I'll just take as much as I can and just relocate. I guess Blue didn't really relocate with those villagers. They died. I really liked Blue's play, and I liked how many technologies we saw from both that showed they knew what was up. Look, they both have good eco upgrades. They both have ballistics. They both got Bod Canera for their castles and towers. They both have almost full upgrades with their infantry. We saw unique university technologies like siege engineers. I mean, this is... I know it's 600 Elo, but these guys knew their stuff. Now, I want to check the APM. I was curious. This tells me they're not the fastest players out there. Shows, you know, what they're focusing on. Obviously, maybe a little bit more focus here on military if you're Red. But overall, Blue had a lot more focus on the eco. Or a lot more. I mean, slightly more focused on the eco side of things early. Doesn't really seem like there was a speed difference between the players there after all. But, like, okay, it's so much easier, though, to build up from home where everything's here. All your focus is here, than to try and split your focus because the second you get raided, the second something happens, you're missing out on something. You're focused so much in the middle, and you're exposed at home, focused at home, then you get hit in the middle. So blue just said, yeah, screw that, man. And screw boars as well. Blue didn't take any boars. What was the fast castle time? Fast castle time, 17 minutes. Now, this was 17-minute fast castle into losing 6 villagers, into a castle, and not a lot of military for a while. So that time is a little less impressive when you break down exactly how things flowed. But still, overall, very impressed with the game. And I hope Red continues to play that way as well, because I like this map for a reason. And I think, unfortunately for Red, just didn't really have the civilization in the mid to late game there. Japanese just have everything. And if you go into infantry, like let's say the Celt player somehow is outmassing with infantry, Japanese also get hand cannons. They also get arbalests. Celts don't get either of those things. So if straight infantry isn't working for the Celts, they can just have some big problems.